I think we are ready to start. All right. Cool. So, for those of you who've been following the progress of this project, it's come a little ways since then. I haven't had a ton of time since the last time I streamed to be able to work on this. But I have a few things I want to be able to go ahead and start working on. So the first thing that I want to work on just today is making a marigold to be able to start to build out her crown. And so that's going to take just a couple of minutes here to create some, get some reference, I guess. And then we'll start kind of decorating her head. So let me show you these flowers. Marigolds are the common ones used and associated with Day of the Dead. Very beautiful orange flowers. Are those plastic? Yeah, it looks like they're plastic, so I'm not going to worry about using plastic ones. Oh, I don't want to open up links. Come on, I want to look at pictures. Here we go. Growing marigolds. It's kind of interesting to look at these and see kind of the structure of it. And I wish I had one in front of me so that I could go ahead and be able to get a better idea of what it is that's happening with each flower. But yeah, let's take a look at these. So I'll open up this picture. Open link in a new tab. I'm going to open up PureRef so that we can go ahead and start putting this together. And do I have one already put together? I don't. Sweet. So we'll just make a new one. And I can just click and drag that onto my PureRef, and now we're good to go. So something to know about PureRef is that PureRef will go through and it'll save your images. If you just copy and paste from the internet into here, then it's essentially making its own independent copy inside of PureRef. But if you click and drag from one of your folders on your local computer, then it's going to reference that image. So it's just a little difference there. And I think you can go through and tell it to actually, you know what, I know these are fake, but I really kind of like them. They look nice. And so I think that might be a good indicator for what I want to be able to use for my reference. Let's see. Oh, that is insane. Wow. I don't want to get that crazy. In fact, let's look it up by I'll say the Mexican name because it's like the way that I'm well, I don't know. It's not necessarily like a Mexican name for it. I think it's just the general name for it in Spanish, but it's cempasúchil. Okay, that looks kind of cool, but it's not quite what I want. Flor de cempasúchil. This is kind of interesting seeing like the different varieties of like the thick petals versus the thin petals. You know what, let's grab this. I'll pull it over into my reference file here. Yeah, that might be good enough. Let me see. And then we can also look at examples of how it was done in different animations. So let's see. Home. Coco. Because Coco is one of my favorites. It is such a good film. So I'm just going to try to find some good examples of cempasúchil. Oops. Let's click and drag that on. It doesn't save it as a GIF. I think you can add GIFs onto your PureRef documents, but yeah, it actually looks kind of more realistic the way that they have theirs. It's kind of interesting. I feel like I was projecting. My goodness, I think my daughter is loving what she's watching right now. But yeah, I was under the impression, I guess just maybe it's because of the way that the petals are depicted, that they're a little bit more simplified. They're not as ripply. Maybe it was just that kind of made me feel like they were. She's living her best life. It's okay. Oh, okay. Let's grab that. Yeah, that's a good image. And I like this because it's not quite as dense as some of the other ones. And I kind of like this one too. Let's pull this one off and we'll just call that good. So we've got a few images here. I wonder actually if Book of Life, I don't know if you're familiar with Book of Life, but that was a good one too. So I want to see if let's go back. Simpasuchil. Beck. There we go. Book of Life. Because like in here, they get super cartoony with and super stylized with their flowers, like the ones that are going along the side of La Muerte's head. But the ones that are on top of her hat, that's kind of more what I'm trying to find a good image for, just to be able to see. Oh, there we go. I like that. It's probably not quite as detailed as I need, but it's good to be able to at least see the shape of the petals a little bit better. You can see like there's kind of a range where there's like this like kind of not a spade, kind of almost like a couple of hearts kind of stitched together right there. This one's kind of got like this cool club sort of look to it, just different shapes there. So I'll probably end up making a good, I don't know, 3 or 4 different shapes, different petals, and try to put them together in a way that helps to make it so that I can kind of clump them together, hopefully. Not gonna lie, this part of it, and I might actually not end up even playing with making these today, because this is something that's going to take some experimentation, I think. Is this the yeah, this is the picture I grabbed. Okay, we're good. We'll call that good. Cool. So in order to put those on her head, it's gonna be something. Let me bring in my my reference image over here, my spotlight, load spotlight. We have a couple of spotlights that I've created. I've got this one where it's a paint over of one of the previous bodies, and I don't want to refer to this one quite anymore. Let's see. Let's say load spotlight. These other images are going to be like closer up. So here's the skull closer up, so we can see more of the detail, more what's going into it. Which I think I might end up actually going in and getting rid of those two, and then I'll kind of work based off of this for right now, just to kind of get a little bit better of a feeling of what's going on, what I have left to do, those sorts of things. There's a lot going on here. Let's keep blocking in elements. I think that's something that I definitely need to do a little bit more of. So let's say, let me see. Let's come over here to this piece of clothing, to the cross going across going across her chest. And we'll use this to be able to kind of draw out this other piece that I can use. I just barely installed the new version of ZBrush. I'd been kind of putting it off just so I didn't have to worry about fighting for server attention, if you will. Yeah, so I've got to do something real quick. The IMM primitives brush, I never use the open-ended primitives brushes. I have before, but I don't ever use them anymore just because I have other ways that I like to work, or that I prefer to work. And the IMM primitives brush itself is one that I like to replace. Let me go ahead and, purely because this is something that I feel like is super helpful, I'm going to show you guys. So to be able to access the brushes folder, I'm going to go into the computer folder, program files 86, and we've got Pixelogic. Oh, you know what? Maybe it's just regular program files. Let's go back to program files then. Program files, Pixelogic, ZBrush 2022. Okay. Now the thing that we need to do is we need to come up to, we have Z data, and then we have brush presets. And this is where all of your standard brushes are that you will find when you load up ZBrush. So in order to add in brushes that you want to be able to have as your default brushes, I'm going to come over here. I have my, let's go up to ZBrush. I've got my library. I have must-haves. I have brushes, SMA, and then in here I have things like my IMM primitives brush, which is just like my own primitive pieces that I like to use that have cleaner topology that makes it a lot easier for me to be able to create something that's more production ready more quickly. So I'm going to grab that one. I'll grab SMA buttons because that's one that I like to use quite often. It's nice to have it really available. We'll grab for clumps, hair block, hair braid, hair brush, hair curls. I don't need the hair waves. Hold on just a second. I have no idea what he's pounding on, but he was pounding on something. Okay, let's see, rope and chain. I'll bring those in, and so these will be in here, and it'll ask if I want to replace the IMM primitives. I'm going to say replace the file in this destination, and now we're good. Now the thing that I need to do, I don't even have to restart ZBrush. I can just come over here, hit my B key to bring up my brush menu, and I can say reset all brushes. Once I do that, let's come back in here. You'll see my IMM primitives brush is different now. It doesn't have the same icon. It's a different brush now. Okay, which is what I want. And then I also have my hair brushes. I have my chain, my rope, and then any other brushes that I added. I can't remember what the other ones were that I had added. Oh, there's another one that I wanted to add. Let me see if I can. Simple curve. That's one that I want. This one is really nice because it allows me to drag on. It's kind of like the what's that called? The curve strap snap. And the reason I don't like to use this one, it's a really nice handy brush, but it's just like the curve tubes. But instead of dragging out this topology that has just a flat, simple cap, it has like a cross pattern in the end of the cap, and that's not terrible, but it's not as useful as as my other brush, this simple curves, which I have an open version and I have a closed version. So it's really really nice and has nice clean topology. Yeah, so let's go ahead. What I want now is I need my IMM primitives, and I am going to say, yeah, let's grab this hexagon, and then I'm going to start to put this together as a veil. She has like a veil kind of coming over her head. Okay. You know what? Let's see. Let's come up here and let's say subtool. We'll say split unmasked, just so that we have this piece veil. We'll put it above the cross. Say rename. And then the dress I need to build out a lot. Shoes, that's fine. I mean, I don't know that I'll even keep the shoes, but it's kind of interesting to entertain the thought, right? Oh, I hate that button. So I really hate having the expose button there. There's one thing that I have done, and the one thing that I do when I am installing a new version of ZBrush is I like to put in hotkeys, so like Control-1 to be able to solo things, or Control-T to turn on transparency, those things. But sometimes I'll come over here to try to hit the solo button, and instead I hit my expose, and it drives me nuts. So what I'm going to do, let's come over here to, let's close subtool, we'll say configuration, enable customize, and then I'm pretty sure it's Control Alt click and drag out onto your canvas area, and it just eliminates the button. So now that that's gone, now I can say preferences, store config. Okay. Oh, hit enable customize, and now we're done. And now we'll say store config, just to make sure that that's nice and clean. All right. So yeah, now that little button won't be there to bother me anymore. Let's go ahead. Let's see. So let's start with some ZModeler. Let's hit that. I'm going to grab all these little buttons here. Okay. Geometry, modify topology, delete hidden. Oh, and let's turn off the thickness there too. Dynamic thickness all the way down to 0. And then we'll just for the sake of making sure that this is kind of more default, I'll turn up the smoothing out there. Hey, thanks, Michael. How you doing? Yeah, there's a lot going on with this right now, and I'm trying to finish my own challenge. But how you doing? It seems like it's been a while since I've seen you around. See, I'm just going to go ahead and try to pull this in. Okay. Oh, and then there are a couple of other things that I need to be able to do. Let me show you guys kind of what it is that I did with the body. I'm trying to decide whether or not I want to finish getting this all blocked in, or if I want to, I'll let it be there for now. Let's see, turn off transparent, or I can hit the Control-T that I set up earlier. So, how's the gig at Netflix? It's pretty good, dude. It's pretty good. Hey, SMAARTIST, how are you from France? Bienvenue. Je vais bien. J'espère aussi que tu vas bien. Loved your Daisy piece. Did you get to see it in person? Did you get to see it in person? I haven't gotten to see it in person yet. And then I don't know if I'll get to or not, but I hope to. Okay, so one of the things that's super, super cool. Okay, so let me show you real quick. her body, I've gone through and fixed the topology. I essentially took the eyes and the mouth and nose of a different character and tied them in Maya. I did it in Maya just because inside of ZBrush sometimes it gets a little bit picky, a little bit like it'll weld vertices together and things like that. And so I really, that's something that I super dislike about ZBrush, is just how much it likes to kind of tie things down, or like weld things together just haphazardly. And so yeah, I went ahead and did that inside of Maya and worked really nicely. I still have some facial anatomy that I want to refine in there, especially like here around the nose. The mouth is starting to look pretty all right. But one of the things that I really love that I've started setting up inside of ZBrush, this new system, these visibility sets. Okay, they're so handy. So one of the things that I did is I took the two bodies. So my character's original body, which is this one, okay, the one that has all the messed up topology. You can see like right here where things are welding through to the other side. Down here where the topology edge flow is like they're all triangles, getting some weird triangles through here, and right here things welded together in a really nasty way. The lips kind of welded in the corners. It's a nightmare, so bad. So I was like, I've got to fix this. It is not helpful. Yeah, definitely pulling it in at lower resolution. In fact, this was the lower resolution that I had, and then I got rid of the spot kind of coming in around here around, let me pull in the select lasso. Oops. And then I essentially did something like this, where I deleted these sections kind of going around the mouth, section kind of going around the eyes, some loop kind of coming around here. It was a little tricky to kind of make that work. But then I was able to go ahead and delete those pieces, the mouth and the eyes, and then bring in those sections here, and then I can add subdivisions. So yeah, it was so nice. One of the things that I want to be able to do, and something that's really quite cool about these selection sets, is that now that I have okay, cool. Now that I have these kind of separate out, tu parles très bien français, bravo. Merci. I'm learning. Je parle comme un enfant. I speak like a toddler. I speak like a baby. No, in our reality, I speak. Je parle espagnol, mais seulement un peu de français. Ma femme parle plus bien. No, mieux. I don't remember the word. She speaks it much better than I do. Ce n'est pas facile le français. Yeah, c'est vrai ça. C'est vrai. Ça c'est vrai. That's very true. Okay, so what I want to do, there are some spots over in here, like the shoulder and the edges that I developed on the shoulder, the lines and edges, the things that I developed down in here through the arm and the back of the arm. I want to kind of mieux. Okay. Oui. Elle parle mieux le français que moi. Le français, c'est très difficile. All right. So what I want to do I still need to go through and designate some other polygroups, which I feel like I did with this group. I mean, you can see like I've got the hands, the lower arm, the upper arm. I want to go through and start to designate these on these polygroups on this body as well, so that way I can I'm going to need to refine the wrist transition right here on the on this arm. It's a little bit off. Do that. Okay. Then Control Shift S just makes it shrink. Okay, so this makes it so that it's nice and up to the top here. I'm just trying to check on both sides to make sure that it works. Yeah, it looks like that's good. Okay. So let's invert it. We'll take this, we'll hide that polygroup, just so that we have the different polygroups for the upper arm and the lower arm. Okay. And then we'll go ahead and shrink it down. Ouh, qu'est-ce qui se passe? Let's fix this so that we've got the nice even edges here. Si c'est bon. 1, 2, 3. And there we go. Okay. I won't worry about fingers quite yet. I don't know if I'll need to worry about fingers. I've already got the fingers and the hands kind of posed the way that I want them. So we'll call that good. What I do want to do... A ver. Okay. There are a couple of things that I want to do. So let's go ahead. I'm going to kind of select a couple of these pieces. Let's grab the green too. Okay. This is the good one, right? I have to double check just to make sure. Because if I go through and try to do my projections on the bad one, it's just gonna be a mess. It's just gonna be dumb, and I'm just gonna be crying myself to sleep tonight. So here's what we want to have. We're good. Okay. So what I want to do, in fact, let's go ahead and I can lower my resolution to be able to soften my mask. And then we can go ahead and we can come in and we can say project. So I'm going to go to subtool. We're going to say project, and I'm going to turn off color. We're going to say project. You know what? I want to make sure that the hands don't get projected. You know what? Let's do this. I think I need to start over again. Let's see. Grab that. And that. Control A. Okay. Now I just kind of soften out that mask, and I think that should be a little bit better. Although I think I kind of want to do this in separate pieces. Let's do this in separate pieces, maybe. Let's do it. Okay. This way we can get the arms, hopefully, to project nicely to themselves. Okay, bring that up to resolution that we need. Okay, and now we can say, let's hit solo so we're not like, you know, messing up with stuff. And now we can say project all, and we should get a nice projection. Ooh, it looks like we don't have as nice of a projection as I was hoping for. So what we want to do is we want to kind of take a look at this and see what it is that it's doing. It looks like it's just not reaching down there, so I'm just going to say increase that distance and say project all, and it looks a little bit better. One thing I do need to check on and make sure of, let's get rid of the body so that we're not messing that up. Oh. Okay, this should be the good one. Okay, everything else should be all right. There's something weird going on with this. I have no idea why that looks that way. We're gonna, let me see, do I have an extra piece turned on? I don't. Okay, so maybe that's just the piece from the other piece. The piece of the piece and the piece. Okay. Okay, you know what? I think what happened, let's see. I think what happened, I'm trying to make sure, just to be absolutely certain. I think I might have hit project on the wrong body. Yep. So you see, there we go. Now that's better. That's more what I was expecting. Okay, so let's come down here. Now we can hit project. Now we're getting more of the shapes in there that we're wanting. Let's boost this distance a bit. Project. Project. No. Might be the best as good as we're gonna get here. Okay. Oh, look at that. I had some problems here on the neck. Yeah, let's go ahead, let's make sure that's all masked out. Okay, we've got the hands masked out, so that's good. Okay, let's try this again. Project all. Trying to make sure that I don't get like the weird mess up here on the neck. That's better. That's better. And then there'll still be some refinement to kind of do on the back of the arm here, and you know, some definition here on the back of the tricep area and the elbows, but it's certainly much better. And then the hands, I think, need to have some refinement too. Let's do something like that. For the legs, I haven't divided them out yet, but let's go ahead and let's do something with that. Just kind of hide. grab that. Okay, so now that we've got this going on, what I want to do, I'm going to take this, let's mask that out. And most of what I want to actually be able to apply my projection to is what's up here on the shoulders and maybe along the clavicle too. I'll re-sculpt some of it by hand, but I think that having that starting point is valuable. Okay, so let's do this. Project. Woo, look at that. Yeah, it's still going to mess it up. So maybe it's just something that I just need to brush, samples, spotlight projection. Okay. Let's just go ahead and maybe we'll just sculpt this by hand then. Or what we could do is we could try to just localize little points like here along the shoulder and clavicle that I want to apply the projection to. Okay. Turn off solo. That's why we're getting problems. Okay, bring back the whole model. Alright, now we're better. Okay, so now we got the potty. I was like, what is the problem? Okay, so now that gives us a little bit more of a starting point. As we can see, like there is a lot going on right here with this clavicle that is just super, super messed up. So I'm going to take this and boom, 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 boom. We're just going to try to think about like having those, because like the clavicle is kind of interesting in that it like starts here in the front, but then it curves back to the shoulder. And it seems like it does different things on a few different people. But one of the things I'm trying to do is balance out kind of what I'm seeing with like anatomy models or different anatomy studies that I've seen of this specific area of the torso, where it's like the clavicle kind of cuts in or that it curves around. But yeah. Let's see, it's gonna pull this up a little bit maybe. Man, yeah, okay, it's starting to feel a little bit better. Kind of soften that out some. I'm trying to study these loops right here and trying to figure out the best way to make them flow so that they support the right shapes. Oops, that's too strong. I'm going to turn off RGB too. Let's see if we can get this to even out a little bit better. That's a little bit nicer. Something like that. for now. We'll express some unhappiness with it later, I'm sure, and try to fix it again. It's gonna be something like that. Yeah, just trying to refine the forms. Just trying to figure out, like, I like trying to kind of feel where it is that things are happening with my own body as I'm making different poses, and like trying to notice like the way that muscles bunch up, or notice ways that bones form. And it's really all about kind of the subtle things that happen. It's something that I'm trying to get a lot better at. Yeah, these arms, because of the way that they're twisted, because of the way that the anatomy itself is twisted, I'm trying to make sure that I figure out nicely kind of what it is that's going on. And I was actually looking at my anatomy model here a little bit before the stream, and I was noticing the arm and the way that it's like the upper arm comes down, but then the lower arm kind of angles out a little bit. And so I was thinking about that, and I was trying to decide. I mean, I don't think that that's representative of all people by any stretch of the imagination, but I do like the idea of how this could come in and give it a little bit more of a sense of weight if I were to kind of play with this some, you know? So yeah, just a matter of kind of pulling this in. And it might help to make her feel a little bit more like she's leaning on it a little bit if I just make this shape settle in here a little bit more. I want to be careful too that I don't get, I mean, I don't want those shapes to intersect. So it's something I've got to be a little bit careful of. I got to balance out kind of how far it pushes in versus where it actually comes to. Cool. I like that. That's working. And now, one of the things that I'd like to kind of mention, because I've already had comments on it. You know, there are things about the model that that are different from the concept. And in my mind, one of the things that I try to do is I try to take what there is like in the concept itself, and I try to plus it even further, especially when it's a concept I've done myself. So in this instance, I'm trying to take, you know, things like the like the face shape and everything like that. I'm trying to figure out how to make her feel a little bit younger, while still helping to preserve some of that age and appeal. I'm trying to go ahead and figure out a style for the anatomy, and trying to figure out like, edging and things like, making things feel more anatomical. Trying to make sure that things make sense, So there's a lot that goes into these, and it's a lot of fun, and it's a great challenge to be able to really think through what it is that's actually happening with with all of these. Let me see. Let's say I want to save my pure ref just so that I have it. I'm call that La Muerte Pure Ref. And then I think I'm going to minimize that just so that it's not in the way. Yeah, let me see. Whew. It's a good day. It's a good day. Yeah, yeah. I'm not the most proficient of like 2D painters. But I'm starting to learn to learn Procreate and have fun with it. I love playing around, and I love sketching, and I love drawing. I do most of my own concepts, most of my own designs, and so yeah, I just have fun with it. Thanks, Mike. Yeah, let's see. Let's keep coming up here. Let's keep blocking this in. Let's see if I can get some, say, MRGB color fill object, something like that, maybe, for now. Insert edge loop. Yeah, we're just going to come along here and just kind of add some resolution to this. And then what I'll do, this is kind of a fun little bit here. Let's go into geometry. We'll say crease, and we'll say crease 180 degree tolerance. We'll say crease, so that'll crease just the edges around the outside. But then what I want to do is I want to take this deformation, and I'm going to say polish by groups. I didn't keep the corners nice and tight the way I had hoped, but we can fix that easily. We'll just take this and pull it up, pull it up, pull that down, pull that down. And we'll do that on both sides. Yeah, it's actually for this year. I am running my SMAARTIST 21 design challenge. The draw this in your style. So this character is the character for SMAARTIST 21 for draw this in your style. And so for anyone who's interested, I'm taking entries through the end of the month. So I got another 10 days to be able to finish mine. Mine's not an entry. It's just, me participating, like I do with everyone of my of my own art challenges. I like to go through and recreate things in 3D. It's just fun. Yeah, so yeah, through the end of the month. And then my favorite entry is going to get a download of my character modeling course, stylized characters for animation. It's awesome. I'm super excited with it, and yeah, I've had a lot of people go through and get it, so it's fun. It's a lot of fun, and I think that a lot of people will really benefit from it. So I'm trying to kind of just pay it forward. I've had some really good mentoring in my life, and some people who've done some really good resources for me and helping me to improve, helping me to get better, things like that. And so I'm just trying to help raise the next generation. Make things better for people coming along the pipe. Okay, this needs to come out along the shoulder. So yeah, anybody who's interested in that, feel free to join. Actually, let me go ahead and kind of show. Let's go ahead and say Instagram. Go to the profiles. So yeah, let me go ahead and send. Let's say copy that, just in case anybody wants to be able to get to the post and be able to see it. And then I've got, all the little, the little rules. I just want to be able to see it. So make sure you tag me and use the hashtag. And then must be recognizable as the same character. You can change the pose, whatever you want to do, but it needs to be the same character. And then due by November 30th. The winner will be announced the next day, and I'm super excited about it. It's really fun. We've had a few entries so far, and I mean, I'm not like huge or anything like that, so there've been a few entries, but some good ones from some of my friends like Michelle, from Mexico, and then this one's really cool. This is the first 3D version that I've seen. It's pretty cool. I really like how it turned out. Big eyes and just little chibi features and everything like that. So yeah, lots of fun things kind of going on so far, and I'm excited to see what else happens with it. Let me see. I'm trying to decide. I have another flower that I could use as a block-in. I'm thinking about using it as just as a block-in, right? I mean, that's really all that I want it for. Right, let's come in over here and say bridge edges. Yeah, great. Boom, boom. Oops. Oh, shoot. Shoot. I have no idea why that wants to crash right now. Dang it. Dang it. Ah. Yeah. Mais c'est la vie. That is how it goes sometimes. Just gotta let it crash. Two things. I'm grateful for the autosave that happens when you crash. The other thing, I'm grateful that I saved recently. Maybe not a good time to ask about 2022 stability. They are working on coming out with a what's it called? A patch. Gosh, I want to say in the next week or two, maybe. There are a few things that they've talked about already with the some weird little bugs, and that's how it happens all the time. There's always something that needs to be fixed, but I wish that it would crash faster, because honestly I don't know that I have that I've saved it recently enough. Close the program. Just close it. Just close it. Great. Load. Whoa, for real? Is it really going to take me back that far? Oh my goodness. Yeah, it took me back that far. Holy crap. Okay, let's see if we can get something back here. Quick save. Recovered tool. Nice. Okay, save that. Oh, I lost all my hotkeys and everything. Okay, so this could be a good time for me to be able to go through and talk about how to set custom hotkeys. So we're going to say Control Alt Tap and then Control O. You know, set the hotkey that you want. So load tool, I set that as Control O. for save as, Control Alt click, and then Control S to be able to save. Okay. Import, we'll say Control Alt click and Control I. Okay. Document, I like to go to export, Control Alt tap, and then Control Shift E. Okay. There are some other ones too, and I'll set them as we get to them. Solo, we talked about that, so we can just say Control Alt click and then Control 1. So that's set to Control 1. Transparency, Control Alt click, Control T. Okay, so now we've got that one set. I'm tempted to go in and just exit ZBrush so it can save my hotkeys. Or I think I might be able to come up here, hotkeys, store. Okay, cool. I can't remember if there are any other ones off the top of my head. I had gone through and set several of them. Like for instance, merge down. This is one that I use all the time. So Control Alt, click, Control M. Okay. So yeah, so Control M is just going to make it so that it merges down now. Something fell down beneath me. Oh boy. Okay, cool. So now I think we should be good. Preferences, store, just to make sure that they're saved. Okay. Just because, you get paranoid sometimes. Let's see. I'm going to go down to the bottom side just so we can see everything nicely. And let's start pulling this forward. I'm going to say slide edge. Yeah, let's say move point. Sure, that's fine. And then let's say bridge these two together. Bridge these two together. Let's say insert. So we can get that and we can get that. Okay, so we'll say bridge edges. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, you know what? Maybe I want that to be a little bit more over here. I don't know. Let's see. We'll just take it. It's fine. Just kind of smooth that out some. I do kind of like the idea of these 3-point stars being up another level here. So I think what I'm going to do is let's insert an edge loop here, and we'll get rid of that one. We'll say slide edge loop partial. Come on, the whole edge loop partial. Give it to me. All right, let's do that. Insert. Okay. Yeah, let's say slide by brush radius, so that way I can get these points to kind of just slide away. Just slide. Be in their own happy little space. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Slide that away, slide that away, slide that away. All right. So now we can start going through and kind of creating the, say, uncrease all. I'm going to create a poly group up top. And that way we can mask it really nice and easy. Let's just mask that out. Turn off that dynamic size there. All right. So now we can start to play with that. Pull that back so we can see, and it looks like it's definitely going to need some adjustment here. So let's grab this. Actually, let's go ahead and kind of rotate it, kind of place it roughly where it's supposed to go. Let's add in a little bit more resolution. 1, 2, 3, something like that. Maybe add another one up here. Okay, just kind of smooth that out just a little bit. And just kind of start placing this. Doesn't have to be perfect yet. I just kind of want to start to get the idea of what's going on with this piece. And so this is to help me really be able to better gauge the character and where she's at, where I need to go to be able to help her to be finished. Just blocking in elements. It's going to play with this shape some. I do want it to be kind of like where it comes into a point, so it's not like this flat piece that goes across. I want it to really have like a little bit more shape to it, something more interesting than just a flat kind of circular veil, if you will. So pull that forward, pull that one back. Make this so that it fits the hair nicely. Pull it out so it's not intersecting, or at least not quite as bad anyway, right? Just kind of smooth some so that the shape's a little bit more consistent. Yes, Michael, I do like to use generic vanilla version of ZBrush. I don't do a whole lot to the UI itself. I think the only thing that I do, and I showed it here on stream too, is I get rid of the expose button. Longest move streak. I've been moving for 32 days. Oh, that's so fun. I hit all 3 goals today. Yay! Okay. Kind of funny. But yeah, one of the big reasons why I use vanilla ZBrush is that I do a lot of demonstration and teaching and things like that. And so if all of my items are in the default, people have a lot easier time of kind of connecting with that. I hate when it pauses me to stand up. It's nicely saying, you don't move enough. Be more active like your brother. I'm tired of living up to his living in his shadow. Yeah, let's go ahead and kind of make it so it has a little bit of a droop to it. With this veil, the idea is that I'll probably go ahead and oh, good, my wife closed all of her rings too. Way to go, Nene. Dismiss. Let's go ahead and make this so that this kind of falls against her a little bit better. But yeah, it just makes it so that people have kind of a base point to be able to relate it to a little bit better. And if I'm working with somebody and they need to be able to jump on, they can jump on and show me something, or or whatever. But yeah, I've always kept a very, very simple, very generic ZBrush UI. It's nice. This particular piece is going to be so much fun when she's done. Okay, let's go ahead. Let's insert an edge loop here, and I am going to say, let's kind of hide that. And then let's take it and boom, just kind of pull it down so that it's, oh, you know what, let's pull in that that spotlight again, just so we have that. Brush, samples, spotlight projection off, so that we don't have to worry about our brushes not working. And then one of the things that I want to think about is that with a lot of veils, I see veils like having like this like kind of a waterfall sort of shape. Instead of being like coming down and being flat at the bottom, it has like a U shape at the bottom, and that's the kind of thing that I kind of want to have. But I've also thought about having something that, instead of being like this round U shape, I've thought about having it be something more of like a how do I put it, like a kind of like a blunt end. In fact, let me see, I'll just kind of draw a little bit here on the screen, just to be able to show kind of what it is I'm thinking. So it'll come down, and then it'll have like a kind of like a flattened, so like this two part with like a little bit of a peak here in the center. I think that could give me some opportunities for some cool pattern repetition. So it's like, on the front of the dress, I've got like this cross motif kind of going into her front, into her chest piece here on the dress. It could be interesting to have something kind of like this, where it's like we come up and then there's maybe like some sort of I don't know, maybe there's like a skull here, and then maybe there's like flowers, and then like some sort of pattern lace through here, and then I don't know, maybe like some sort of lacy trim or something. I don't know. It's trying to figure out kind of exactly how this would go. In fact, let me go ahead and shoot. Gotta see if I can get this to I can't get the I can't get the actual screenshot to expand anymore. Dang it. Oh well. But this is something that I've thought about doing. Hey Alex, man, long time no see. Yeah, it's like I don't stream as much as I used to anymore. So it's like anytime I say long time no see, everybody's like, well, if you get on more. For these pieces, for this for the end, yeah, let's just keep it kind of simple. Let's give it kind of maybe a scalloped end. That'll be cool. That could be cool. Okay, let me see. Let's do that then. So here's what we'll do. I'm going to say print screen, draw that out, and we'll say maybe here on the back, what we'll do is we'll have it come down, and it'll be kind of like a something like that. And so I'm gonna have to build the topology so it follows, sorry, that's like super messy, so it follows that flow. I'm gonna save that. Okay, let's do this. Let's do this. This is gonna be cool. I'm excited about that. Let's go ahead and kind of pull this a bit, pull that a bit, pull that a bit. Okay, just kind of pull on this some. This point needs to be like slackened a little bit. Boom, you know, getting really cool. Thanks, man. Yeah, things are going pretty well. Just having fun with my draw this in your style challenge piece. Okay, let's go ahead and let's save this so that I don't lose it. Say save. Cool. And I'm trying to think. Let me go ahead and load tool. I wonder if I have it downloaded. I might have to. Let's go back to ZBrush. Portfolio pieces, ArtStation suite, Sun Goddess. Because in this one, I know that I have a flower chrysanthemum. It's a different flower, but it's something that could stand in. Oh, do not switch. Something that could stand in for now. In fact, I might be able to kind of recycle this a little bit and say like, grab some of these, and I might be able to use this to be able to make a oh, shoot, the Cempasúchil. I can't even think. The mums. No, the what are they called? Oh my goodness. But yeah, anyway, they're more like this anyway, with like more of these paddle shaped flowers. Just kind of build that in. I don't know, something. But yeah, this can be a bit of a stand-in for now if we want to. So yeah, we'll take this, and I actually built this out using array mesh back a couple years ago. It's kind of an old model, but it's, you know, it'll work. It'll do. We'll say append. We'll add the flower. Wow, look at how small that is. Go ahead and select the flower. Go to the middle. And then let's just kind of build a little bit of a crown using it. Okay, I'm gonna do something. Let's come over here to surface. We'll say noise, frame that. We'll say give it like a lot of strength, but we're gonna make the noise scale like super big. Okay, let's maybe tone back on the strength. Essentially what I'm trying to do with this is I'm trying to take it and use it to kind of push the pedals around a little bit. I think that it won't necessarily get me quite what I want out of it. It's not too bad. Deformation. We'll say inflate, and then we'll say polish, see what it does. Yeah, no, it's not working. Polish by features. Yeah, no, let's get rid of that. I'll keep this for now. It's not a big deal. Let's do this then. Okay, let's see. Let's pick a good color for that, and then yeah, we'll just use that. That's fine. Color, fill object. Boom. Okay, there we go. looks like it might be frozen somehow. Are you guys able to see me just fine? I mean, it looks like it should be just working, but I just pulled up my I just pulled up the streaming dashboard, and it said that it was, well, I mean, it had it showing as if it was frozen. It's kind of Marigold. That's what they're called. Marigolds. Yeah, I'm going to have to play around with some of these. Let's see if the groom turbulence will do anything. Hey, look at that, it does. That's really strong. I don't know if that's quite what I want. So let's try this swirl brush or whatever it's called. Let's see, spiral brush, that's what it is. I'm trying to give it like a little bit more of an organic sort of look, but it's because like it feels way too computer generated. So yeah, just trying to like shake up the flow and the shapes a little bit. Still not working. Whatever. We'll keep it. So what I want to do is I'm just going to kind of pull this off, and I'll make a new polygroup so that I can control each flower separately. Let's turn off lines so we can see kind of more what it is that we're doing. We'll just put this into place. Center it. Yeah. Let's see if I can. I need to charge this anyway, so maybe I can just take it off. All right. Something like that. We'll just kind of take this and duplicate it off, rotate it around. And then what I want to do is I want to kind of play around with this just a little bit, just to figure out, you know, shape-wise and placement-wise, like how is this going to work? Is it working? What do I need to change and fix? And it feels like some of these things, like the flowers, need to just be pushed quite a bit more. Oh, you know what? Let's try using the spiral brush actually. Turn off dynamic. That kind of changes some of the alignment a little bit there. Kind of interesting. Something like that. Uh-oh. Did we lose our polygroups? That is really weird. Why is it... I must have... At some point, I must have, like, hit Control W. Because look, now it's all... That's so weird. Why did that happen? Okay, we'll just undo that. Because I do want to have the polygroups. I want to be able to use the polygroups to manipulate what I'm what I'm doing. It's not different enough. There we go. I like being able to see what it is that I'm working with. Yeah, it's starting to work. It's starting to work. And, you know, keeping in mind that these are still just block-ins, you know, that's kind of the important part too. You know, so let's go ahead and center that. Bring it around so we can kind of make, like, you know, full circle. I might have to make an extra one just for the sake of making sure that we are reaching all the way around. And it's kind of nice to have an odd number. I might even want to think about the number of flowers going around her head, and maybe there's some symbolic number in Mexico, or I know that, like, in Chile, grades, like, are all done based off of a 7. That doesn't necessarily tie into what we're talking about right now. But here you go. Let's go ahead and grab this, mask out the other yellow one, control click and drag, inverter selection, hit control W, and boom, we're there. We are there. So not the right kind of flower, but it's working as a stand-in. And you just got to be willing to do that sometimes. All right. Just kind of vary up these shapes just a little bit so that it's not one big repetition fest. Because nobody likes a repetition fest. Getting a really nice feeling by pushing and pulling the flowers around. Yeah, it definitely helps, especially since, you know, trying to work with different something that's so detailed, but then, you know, everything's all the same. So, like, if they're anyway, it just kind of helps to push things around some. I'm going to say with auto masking, I'm going to say not topological, polygroups. So that this way I can come in here and I can just kind of push and pull these and get all that movement without having to worry about messing up the one next to it. Let's kind of make that one smaller, make that one bigger. Yeah, so arcane, oh my goodness. I'm constantly in awe of how gorgeous that whole project is, and it's amazing. I'm super jealous of the look development team at Netflix, because they got to or at least, you know, from my franchise, because they got to hear a presentation from the team that did the Arcane series, and about like, you know, how they went through and created the series and everything, and I'm just like, I'm so jealous. I wish I could have been there. I wish I could have been a fly on that wall. I would have loved to have been able to to learn with them, because that's a fantastic, phenomenal series to have been part of. I'm sure that will win all sorts of incredible awards at the Annies and all those other things. Let's go ahead and use the move topological now and just kind of break the silhouette a little bit more with some of these. Just so it's not so flat. I am trying to be, I'm gonna have to like step back after I've done something like this and check and see if that's really actually working or if it just looks weird. It looks like it's pretty good though. Oh man. Yeah, Arcane just blows me away. Blows me away. What were your thoughts on it, Alex? What are some of the things that really kind of stood out to you? I haven't seen the finale yet. I haven't watched the last 3 that came out today. Yeah, I hope that they do like they release art of books, and in fact I need to check for that, because that would be something I'd super love to see. And then making of, like I wonder if they'll release something like that on Netflix, because that's just so impressive. So stinking impressive. And it's like I can't geek out about it with my kids because it's way too it's too much for them. It's not something that I want to have them watch at their tender little age. But yeah, so cool. That might be too high. Let's see. Let's pull that down some. Yeah, in fact, my kids recently just discovered and really got into Lilo and Stitch, and so they've been watching like the series. I never really watched this series. My siblings, my younger sister, I think my middle sister, I think she was really into it, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah. You know what? In fact, speaking of Arcane, I thought about going through and doing like a texture pass on this character that was kind of reminiscent of that, and using Arcane as kind of my reference for yeah, definitely not for kids. um, Using Arcane as like my reference, as my standard reference, and my, you know, like my style guide, and you know, putting that in there. I mean, there are other things that I can put in my style guide. You know, Arcane's not the only thing to have done something super painterly, and but that's something that's super unique to the League of Legends sort of animation stuff, is that, you know, they've got the hand drawn animation for the for visual effects, and they've got just so cool. I'm geeking out. I'm sorry. I'll focus. Let's go ahead and pull that up. Playing with some of these pedals. That looks pretty good. I'll keep that. I'm trying to decide how much more I want to do before. Let's work on the face a little bit, because there are some anatomy things that I wanted to fix, especially around here in the nose. You can see, like, as I add resolution, like, it's just a little bit full right here, and it shouldn't be that full. Let's pull in the clay brush. Yeah, I'm just gonna come. There we go. Just gonna come through here and kind of. Lazy mouse. Let's take that down. Oh man, good to see you though, Michael. Thanks for coming and stopping by and saying hi. It's always good to hear from you. Yeah, we'll use a combination of some of these brushes. In fact, maybe what I'll do is I'll just use like my move brush. I like to use my move brush, especially for these sorts of things where it's just like simple little adjustments to form. Some of these things, like right through here, you can see like there's like an inconsistency of how it flows. Let's turn off the RGB for the color, or for the smooth rather. One of the things that I'm thinking of, and like I have a few people that I've looked at as kind of inspiration for what I would like this character to look at, but it was for a completely different version that was more realistic, or something completely different that just completely different. And so maybe I'll end up doing something like that more for next year. But I don't know, like I'm trying to think whether or not I want to kind of put some sort of likeness into it. I really quite like the way that she's looking so far, but I don't necessarily look at her and feel like she's representative at all. So I'm trying to kind of think about that a little bit as I go through creating her. If if that's something that I feel like will be important to me with this particular character, or if it's something that I need to just not even care about. Just gonna kind of sculpt that in a little bit here. It's got a little bit too much volume. Just down here around the corner. So I'm just going to get rid of some of that. Get rid of some of that. Cool. It's feeling a little bit more consistent. I'm trying to decide, because like if I'm too heavy-handed with the eye bags, it really ages her. Okay, so I'm trying to go through and balance that a little bit. This bottom lip still feels a little bit asymmetrical to me, so I'm trying to play with that a little bit. that's right. I turned on the I turned on the mask by polygroups. So let's go ahead and turn that off now. Okay, that feels a little bit better. Trying to make sure that I balance out the chin shape. This jaw, I feel like it's a little bit off in the way that it feels with the rest of the face, and so I'm trying to kind of pull things together, pull things in, check for just the form, the way things kind of mush together, the way things push and sit and all that. Okay, so let's say something like that's pretty all right. I'm gonna take this part of the hair. Let's actually make it so that it comes down a little bit more. Let's do something like this. Something just like this. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Demonetized. No, just kidding. The fire is an interesting question. So the fire is something that I want to do with actual effects. So I want to, it's like I want to learn Bifrost in Maya for the sake of being able to do an animated flame going over that skull. There's a lot that I need to learn to be able to figure that out. But yeah, so that's the plan, is to actually animate a flame going over that skull, which I think should be an insanely cool addition to this piece. Should be, hopefully. It's funny because like when I took effects animation in school, we used Houdini, and it was super cool. And the only fire I ever made was blue, so I was like I'm not gonna make any lame orange fire. I'm gonna make it blue fire. Yeah. Then I played with some green fire or whatever, some Maleficent vibes going on, but yeah, I definitely want to play around with that. Yeah, I mean, otherwise, I mean, I do have like a flame already sculpted. Like for instance, when I did, for those of you who are around, oh, you know what? It's probably easier to find it at ArtStation. I'll go to ArtStation to find it. I had. Oh, did he already finish it? Huh. Cool. Okay, so let's see. View profile. Speaking of arcane, let's see. 3D printing. What am I looking for? I am looking for the fire. Let's go into creatures. So I've got like the flame that I sculpted for this, which is kind of fun. And it's not like super refined or anything like that, but it's still kind of cool. And then I also have, let's go into all. I know that I have another flame that I did for something. I just can't think off the top of my head what it was for. Shoot. And you know what? It might have actually been a project that I had done when I sculpted this this skull in the first place. I can't remember. I can't remember for sure. Yeah, I don't see it. Speed sculpts? No, I don't know. I can't remember. Yeah, that horse. I mean, it's such a fun idea to me, and I really want to go through and play with it some more because it's a neat idea to me. I want to go through and build out the rest of the horse. But yeah, it's just one of those things that I don't think I'll ever actually do because, time. Let's see these other things. So this is Javier Benver. Super awesome. He's a really great artist too. So if you're interested in checking him out, let me go ahead. I'll send you guys these links while we're looking at them. It's looking pretty good so far. He's got a lot of other things too that he's done that are really neat. Oh, so this must be just a speed sculpt then. I was like, is this the one from the show? Because I mean, it looks like it. It looks really good from that one shot. But you look at it from the other angles, and it's it gets a little bit warped. It's definitely sculpted to the perspective of the shot. So, but the textures look amazing. They look really, really good. I mean, the sculpture looks really, really good too. But yeah, it's super, super neat. I like that. 6 hours ago, it's almost 350 likes right there. Boom. 10 hours ago, 287 likes. Way to go, guys. Way to go. Posted a year ago, 33 likes. Yeah. That's what happens when you sculpt something and when you put things up and do your own artwork that's not based off of something that's insanely popular. Whatever. It is what it is. Yeah. Let me see. So with these, I kind of want to pull these off a little bit more. Just so that they feel more voluminous. Let me kind of mess up this section a little bit more. And then we'll go back to kind of working with that face a little bit more. Maybe we'll start painting it just to try to get a little bit of that feel. Good grief. My tongue doesn't want to come to work today. You know what sounds good to me right now? Rice and beans. Some cotija cheese. Yeah, super good. I don't think we have any though. Okay, pull that in there, pull it out there. Just really trying to give it some more volume. Cool. Let's do something kind of like that. I just want to make it so it doesn't feel like they're all coming up to the same height or even down to the same depth, make it feel a little bit more unique. Let's save it because that's what we ought to do. If you post something, like it's trending, likes go up. Yeah, that's exactly how it goes. It's kind of a hard thing to balance out, because like for myself personally, I don't like to follow the trends per se. There are some things that I've gone through and done in the moment because I feel moved to, like for instance when the George Floyd stuff was going on last year, and all of the riots and the hate crimes that followed the racial activity happening last year around that time. I felt very moved with compassion and wanting to help make a statement of, like, we need to be kind, we need to be we need to treat other human beings the way they need to be treated. It's like this, it's not fair for somebody to be treated poorly because of the color of their skin. Somebody's lost their family member because somebody else couldn't control the situation peacefully. A peace officer, imagine that. So, one of those things that, it was something that I felt very moved by and decided to jump on it, so that I could add my voice to theirs, to anybody who was hurting, or anybody who was who also was feeling the rage and the hurt of such a terrible thing happening, when it shouldn't be happening. It's absolutely ridiculous to me that something like that would be happening in our country. It's just stupid. It's so stupid. You know what? I think I'm going to go ahead. Let's open up some arcane. See, there's that, but I don't want to use either of those. See if we can get some good screenshots. Oh, I'm getting tired. Well, getting tired. I've been tired. But here we go. So here's what we do. I'm gonna go ahead and add to this to my pure ref. This is a good one. I'm trying to find images that show, like, kind of up close the textural details of the face. This is pretty nice. Might be able to find better images though. Let's bring it over. Yeah, come on. It's not that big of an image. It's having troubles adding it. Let's see if it'll pop in there anytime soon. Textured in substance? That's a good question. I don't know, because there's a lot of stuff going in to these textures. Like, let's kind of zoom in on this, because I mean, you look at that and it's like there's a very heavy hand painted quality to it. Like, look at the eye and the way that the colors of the eye are so very just beautifully handled. There's no doubt that there is some sort of texture painting program like Substance involved. I don't know if that's exactly what they did though. I don't know. What do you guys think? So super cool. Oh my goodness. Oh, let's see if I can find the full poster for this, that'll be cool. And maybe I'll click on it. Sometimes they'll pull up the images. Pull that over here and just have it as a place saver. I really like these little posters too, where they went ahead and they kind of added things into the negative space, or I guess the positive space. Really, it's not even the negative space. So neat. Gwen, dude, how you doing? I'm just going through and pulling reference right now. I'll probably be on like another 15 minutes or so. Getting a little tired. Let me see. That's pretty nice. So maybe what I'll do now that I have some good reference, let's go through and start painting some. And we'll see if we can get some good results by modifying our brushes. Okay, let me see. Let's kind of pull this over to something like that. Okay. So one of the things I want to look at is that they were very good at kind of controlling their edges. Part of that's render, part of that's just geometry. You know, you look at how sharp those transitions are right there. Let's go through, let's sharpen some of this up. Let's turn this line back on. Okay, something like that, something like that. Okay. And then we'll just bring up that resolution again. Oh, you know what? Instead, let's do it like this. Let's mask out up to there. Mask out up to there. Maybe mask out up to there, more or less. And then boost our resolution a little bit. And we'll just say inflate. You see, like, if I'll push it a little bit further so you can see kind of what's happening. You can see it's kind of softening out that effect. In fact, a little bit too much. Control Shift X maybe once there. Okay, we'll do something like that. And now we'll go ahead and we'll kind of mask that out. Mask that out. Mask out up to, you know, partway up the nose. I mean, it looks like this this bridge, like the bridge of the nose, like it feels like that really serious what's it called? That edge is up a little bit higher. So I'm trying to figure out if I want to. I mean, I probably ought to. Let's do this. I'm going to say. Let's grab that. Oops. Okay, something like that. Just so we can have like a good clear direction of where this is supposed to be coming from, and let's kind of pull that forward some. Okay, so now let's kind of strengthen some of the shape and the anatomy in here. Yeah, I haven't finished it yet either. I've got the last 3 episodes to go, and I'm just like, oh, it's so good. It's one of those things though that I've mostly like listened to it. I haven't gotten to take the time to focus on it and really watch it. Just because it's like most of the time when I'm watching it, it's like during work, you know. So it's like I don't get to focus on it. But you know. Let's kind of like push this nose around a little bit. And this is going to get me a little bit of like asymmetry to it. I'm trying to be careful what kinds of shapes I'm putting in here, because yeah, I just want it to feel like super appealing, you know. Let's go back to that AccuCurve, turn that off. Maybe give a little bit more roundness to the nose, but then give it a little bit more narrowness to the bridge. And then especially like up here at this point, let's kind of make that more narrow. And then we can go in and we can start to kind of control. Oh, hey, how about that? Control Shift X. Now we can mask that out. Now we can soften it out. Now we can go ahead and we can control this. There's a lot of stuff kind of going on in here, and I'm not entirely sure how much of this I'll keep. Let's go through and kind of, oh, that was funny. Don't know why that was happening. I'm just going to go through and kind of polish this out, make it so that it feels a little bit more plainer. And then, since this is supposed to be a little bit more sculptural now, I'm wanting to kind of ignore a little bit of the... That's why I stopped watching anime, is because I have to read it. Yeah. Yeah, so that's kind of a big part of how I choose my entertainment. Is like, if I can listen to it versus watch it. If I need to watch it, then I need to pick when I can do it, and if I need to, if I need to pay attention to what's on screen, to be able to read subtitles or something, then I definitely need to not do it while I'm working, because otherwise I either don't follow along with the story or I don't follow along with my work, and I need to follow along my work, so Dude, Mike, how you doing, man? Des tutoriels pour de l'environnement 3D, s'il te plaît. Mais oui, mais seulement de l'environnement, non, mais du... characters. Oui. Je veux faire du tutoriel de l'environnement, mais je ne sais pas quand est-ce que tu vais avoir du temps. J'espère. Okay. Thanks. Yeah, my French is terrible. Pardon my French. Yeah. It's tough. It's tough. I learning a new language, but it's fun too. Tough, but it's fun. Don't forget to save. Quentin, you're the man. Yeah, I actually ran into a point earlier where ZBrush crashed. I was gonna say Maya crashed, and it's like, I'm not using Maya today. I am not using Maya today. Don't say Maya. Oh, this is adding some pretty cool planar effects, and it's starting to feel a little bit more sculpted, which is neat to me. Yeah, so part of what, in fact, let's see if we can kind of like strengthen that cheekbone just a little bit. I lost my train of thought. Dang it. Yeah, try to make this feel a little bit more sculpted. I don't know what they would have done for like the lips and everything, because it's something that's so, in fact, I kind of want to just let's turn off the colors. Oh, that's nice. I'm just trying to give it like a little bit more of like a not a faceted look per se, but certainly much more handmade is kind of the look and the terminology we've been using at work a lot lately, where things feel a lot less CG because it's been made by hand, Oops. Yeah, I need to save. Give that a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Let's do something kind of like this. I'm not going to worry too much about keeping the topology absolutely perfect. I mean, the topology's there. One of the things I'll do sometimes is with the clay brush, I'll add in like this this alpha, and sometimes like if you're lucky, let me see, let's go ahead and let's add in, not modifiers, auto masking, we'll say backface masking. Sometimes if you're lucky, you can get it to have a nice feel the way that it strokes out. Trying to use a combination of some of these tricks that I use with work. So that I can feel a little bit more, I'll say productive. I don't know. That's feeling a little bit too edgy though. Yeah, really tricky. You see. Still working hard. Yeah, absolutely. Too much sometimes. Don't forget to save for characters. Yeah. So I do have character tutorials, and that's kind of where my main emphasis is in. Oops. So yeah, I tend to stick to characters as much as I can, but it's not always very possible. Yeah, I do like to play around with environments a lot too, though, and I do. I have done some streams where I have created some environment pieces, or at least started some. I don't know that I have. Have I turned off my samples? Yeah, spotlight projection, good. Okay, we're good. Let's go ahead and raise that up just a little bit higher so that it's along more in line with that with the edge of that poly group. But yeah, so I need to go through and do more of that. I do have a lot of stuff that I want to work on, so I'll have to. Sorry, give me a second. I do have a lot of environment stuff that I do want to work on, so I'll have to see about jumping back into that at some point soon. Okay, let's turn the color back on just so we can. There we go. I think that'll be a little bit better. Let me see. I'm going to take this. Let's turn on the AccuCurve on the move. Oh, I thought I had the move brush on. Shoot, that's the wrong brush. Let's go back up. Move, AccuCurve. That's better. I just want to give a little bit more of like a peak here at the curve of that of the eyelids. Here, let's hide the lower half of the body. Just because I don't need it at the moment. So let's go ahead and we'll pull this one up as well. Okay, something like that's starting to work out pretty all right. Yeah, lots and lots to play around with. And I think it just comes down to a matter of experimentation, playing with it, seeing how it goes. That's just how it goes. Pull in some. Now let me see. I'm trying to play a little bit with like some plane change through here. I do want to keep it kind of subtle because I don't want it to be. Yeah, I still want it to feel, smooth and feminine and graceful and all those sorts of things. So I'm trying to make sure that her cheeks are creating like a nice smooth roundness, but I also want to make sure that there's a little bit of a plane change there, and it feels like that's working pretty well. Let's go ahead and something. Nah, that's a little bit too much. Let's see. Gonna use a little bit of trim dynamic through here, and then we'll see about adding in starting to create some texturing brushes. So we're going to need to add like a level of resolution to really start to get that to go, but it should be pretty cool once we do. Okay. Cool. I mean, it's definitely starting to have much more of a controlled feel to it. One of the things that I'm trying to figure out is if I want to add in like a little bit more of like a shallow, or not a shallow, like a because I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out if I want it to be painted, or another one of the options that I was thinking about doing was taking and making like her own skull for inside of her head, and then having her skin be somewhat translucent so that you can see through it. I don't know. It's like there's so much that I'm trying to kind of play with, you know, and figure out just in my head. Let me see. I'm gonna lean back. Oh yeah, that's nice. That's nice. That's real nice. Yeah, sitting forward sometimes gets to be a little bit much, and so sometimes it's nice to just kind of, you know. Oh, you know what? That forehead. Let's check and see what they've got going on for the foreheads. It's really pretty smooth. Check a couple of different references, and they keep theirs pretty stinking smooth. Yeah, a little bit of a plane change there, but not a whole lot. So let's add a little bit, but again, we'll keep it pretty simple. Give it a little bit of like a... Nah, I don't like that. I do kind of like that though. It's like there's always like a balance. I'm just trying to make sure that like wherever like brush marks are left, I want it to feel very not distracting. Oh, you know what? I like that. Gonna make that same thing on the other side. Of course not. Yeah, it works. Okay, let's see if I can get... Let's see if I can get the rest of that eyelid to feel just nice. Pull that out a little bit. It's just trying to like I do that way too much. She almost kind of looks like Ventress from Star Wars because of some of the colors. And you can tell there's like a major shift in how that topology is flowing, and I'm trying to trying to make sure that this happens in a nice way. Yeah, as you do. It might be that she just has like too much of that eyeshadow kind of leaving her eyeshadow area. So I'm going to try kind of getting rid of some of that. Okay. Let's see. Here's what we're going to do now. I am going to start building a brush. Okay, so usually what I'll do is I'll have just the standard brush and I'll add like a little bit of, you know, I'll add the color stroke and I'll bring the color down to like 0.05, and then I'll choose this alpha 8. It's this alpha right down over here, alpha 8. Okay, and that's just a great way to be able to add some slight color variation to things, so that it's not just a flat color. It's a little bit easier to tell when you have it gets a little bit better here and there. What I want to do, I want to come over to alpha. There are all sorts of things that you can do to be able to modify your alpha and modify your brushes. So what I want to do is I want to try to play with some of these things, these densities, strength, streak length. Sorry. And I want to kind of just play around and see what sorts of effects this is giving me. Like, let's make it something that's dramatically different so that we can see what it's giving us. That's pretty neat. It's not quite what I think I'm seeing with some of this stuff here, but I mean, this could be cool to go in and give me some color variation. Give her some color to the cheeks, to the nose, even just for the sake of like just blocking things in just a little bit. No, I like the hands being a little bit darker, I think. One of the things that I want to kind of play around with is looking at kind of the way that they use color zones in the way that they apply textures onto their characters, because they've got this really insane way about how everything's so painterly and so thick. So I think what I want to try to do, let's try pulling in a different alpha. Let's go ahead and grab this and we'll make it a little bit less saturated. Nah, too much of that. Let's just say dots. So we'll just come in here and we'll just kind of start stroking things on. You can see it's creating quite an airbrushed sort of effect. So I'm trying to be very careful about how I'm using this. I'm trying to figure out if like broad strokes are going to be the best way to go, or if coming in and doing like lots of small strokes, if that's the best way to go. I don't know. It's one of those times for exploration. I wonder if there's actually something more that I can do to this to better... Oh, I didn't want that over there. I want that over here. Come on, you. Pull this over here. Modify streak length. Maybe change the density down some so that there's less, get some, yeah, that's cool. Strength. Let's play with that some, get some noise in there. I don't know that I want blur though. Cool, okay, let's see. Oh, you know what? Here's something else I need to do. Let's say Control D, maybe twice. There we go. That's a little bit cooler. Let's see if we can get... Yeah. So now I can go in here and I can get some really cool kind of painted sort of effects. One of the things that's kind of, I guess, kind of tricky with this is that it's a little bit too separated. So maybe I'll try something that's a little bit more solid. That's a little bit too soft though. Let's take this focal shift and really kind of pull it up some. Back up a little bit in my undo history. Let's go back to before we had that big stroke of purple come down. It's starting to get dark. Because I think one of the things that I need to get a little bit more nailed down is this idea of like a very solid, confident strokes. I mean, like, I don't feel like I have an image that's as high definition as I feel like I want it. There's a lot of different it's just not, that's not gonna work. Let's see. What does that max refer to? Oops, sorry. Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. Max. Maximum range. Yeah, that's fine. Surface details mode. Seamless. Radial fade. I don't want a radial fade. Intensity. Interesting. I don't want that though. Contrast. That's interesting. Ooh. Ooh. Okay, I think we're getting somewhere. Okay, so right through here, let's see if we can take this just a little bit rosier. But then I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to experiment. Control Shift D. Let's go ahead and take this and we will down res her all the way so that she's not keeping as much. Okay, that's cool. That's so much better. I'm going to have to drop this alpha onto my Patreon so that anybody who's who wants it can use it. And I'm trying to be pretty rough and pretty I mean, I'm still trying to think through this and trying to have some sort of method to the madness, but I have no idea what the method is, and so it's all madness. You know? Let's go ahead and get like a bone color. Get more into like these bone tones. This alpha, I gotta save this alpha. Let's kind of bring this over to the other side. Export. I'm gonna say Arcane Alpha 01. Just because that makes sense. Let's see. Now it's interesting. I wonder what else can I do to my brush. Let's go into our modifiers. If I put on brush modifier, what does that do? It doesn't do anything. That's kind of what I thought. Because brush modifier, what this will do is like if you have like a brush with like the curved tubes will use the modifiers to go ahead and it'll use that to, you know what, let's use this other alpha. We'll just say something like, yeah, so it'll change the number of rings of edge loops that you have going around the outside. Sorry, I got distracted by what I was doing. So this is something new that's kind of come into the new version of ZBrush, where you can go through and you can change to have multiple alphas and multiple textures applying to your model as you brush it out. So it becomes really kind of a neat thing you can play around with. So like as I push, it doesn't want to do it though. It's interesting. I wonder why it doesn't want to respect the textures. Maybe it's because I just don't have a texture. Let's say flip vertical. Yeah, no, it doesn't want to do it. It's okay. It doesn't matter. I don't need it. Okay, so we'll do something like this, and then we will start to paint in her little calavera skull face shape stuff here. This way we get like a little bit of a variation in texture. Okay, this could be cool. I'm just trying to make sure that I'm kind of cleaning up shapes, but yeah, there's a lot going on. One of the things that I want to play with is my frame mesh button working? Yes. Yeah, this one seems to be working. There are a few things that have been kind of messy for sure. But yeah, they're working on the first patch version, which should be coming out, I think, this week or next. play with this a little bit, just kind of throw it around. I'm trying to be mindful of what it is that I'm doing, one side versus the next. That's a little bit too much, I think. Let's take this and we'll say paint that back out. Paint that back out. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out exactly what I want to do with this character. I mean, she's been a lot of fun so far, but there's so much by way of possibility that I'm just like, you know, what do I do? Oh, you know what? I need to change that so that that's turned off. One of the things I'll have to go through in design is, in fact, here's what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll take this, we'll say brush, save as, just so that I can make sure that I'm going to say Arcane Paint 01 just for the sake of being able to have a brush available, which means I might need to go back and reload my my standard brush so I can have that if I need it. Ooh, that's really heavy. Why is that so heavy? Come on. No respect, no respect. Sometimes it helps for me to go back and like change windows. There we go. Let's see, it's kind of go along here, and we'll just add a little bit of extra, like an extra edge to the edge of the of this eyelid. And let's go ahead and we'll make this a little bit lower. Step down a couple of steps, and then we'll mask all, bring it all back. And now let's try this out, see if it works. See if this gets me what I want. Deformation. Inflate. Cool. I think that's definitely looking pretty decent. One of the things I'm trying to pick at is how this is going to look, this nose bit right here. Play with that a little bit. lots to play with. Lots and lots to play with. I've been looking at some arcane shots, textures hand painted, so I don't think it's all related to render. Yeah, the texture is definitely hand painted. A lot of what's happening in render is stuff like for instance the rim lights. Like I feel like the lighting is made to be really graphic so that it helps to support the textures that were painted on, which is really quite incredible to me. Really, really incredible. And it's like I just wish that I wish I was better at all this stuff. Like there are so many cool things that people do. I mean, everything that I know how to do, I kind of figure it out myself. There isn't really like my go-to spot for tutorials or anything like that. I mean, there are a few places that I do go, and there are a few people that I follow and that I watch and things like that. But I'm not sure that I like that, how that looks. Yeah, so far as, like go-tos and everything like that, I tend to figure things out on my own more than anything. And based on things that I've experienced, like with the ZBrush, I participate in the beta testing quite a bit. And so a lot of what I learn, I've seen stuff that people have done. You know what? Let's go ahead and do something like that. I've seen things. I watch the presentations. I get special behind the scenes meetings where they go through and they show us specific specific guidance and instruction, and it's really, really neat. But it's also one of those things where it's like oh, there we go. Getting some strokes in there like that. Oh, that works. That's getting some cool effects in there. Yeah, just like it's coming down to like this being like super rough with it and heavy-handed. It's like I'm trying to make sure that that all my strokes are kind of just being angular and kind of sketchy. Oh, that's working really nicely. I'm liking that. Oh, guys. Oh, that's exciting. Oh, it's starting to feel cool. The part between the tear duct and the bridge is looking so good. Thank you. Don't forget to save. Thanks, Quinn. Alright, let me see. So right now I've got this that's kind of going in and being... I don't like that. I do like this. I do want to add a little bit more of this down here. That might be a little bit much. Let's see. Okay, let me see. Okay, let's go ahead and isolate out her head. It's so invigorating to see this stuff start to look more the way that I intend for it to look. In fact, like these little areas, the nose, I was thinking about taking it and making it feel a little bit more like it's painted black. Yeah, I don't do a whole lot of hand-painted stuff, and I definitely need to practice it some more because this is super fun, but I think that there's definitely so much missing. Yeah, let's take this, let's desaturate it quite a bit, darken it some too. So that we've got these super dark eye linings, which I think will help to make the eyes kind of pop a little bit more, hopefully. That's the idea. Doesn't matter so much if I get it on like the back of the eye bag, but I'm still trying to make sure that I get it where it needs to go. Not entirely sure what I'll do with the lips. I don't know that that's, I don't feel like that's working for me. I'll leave them simple for now, and then I think I'll come back to them when I have a little bit more of an idea. So far as the nose, Just kind of stroking some black on here. I think I want it to be asymmetrical, just for the sake of I was gonna say the joke, but it's not really a joke. It's like right, let's go ahead and kind of give it a little bit of a break up there, because that could be kind of interesting. I like that. Let's see. Oh, something else I could look at was like the Overwatch trailers. There was the one with Soldier 76. Where those where that gang, like they had like their faces painted. I wonder if that has they have a much cleaner style, generally speaking, so it's not likely to be super I don't like that. I lose too much of the I lose too much. So let's see. Let's go ahead. Let's get rid of the black. Let's make it kind of bone-esque color. One of the things that's super impressive, I think that I've noticed, is that there are points where it's like where the color kind of just drops off, and I think it's like it becomes. So let's see. Let's pick this. Let's pick this a little bit more. Get a little bit darker, something like that. And then use that to kind of contour these bits of the nose here. I don't think it's dark enough. It's like all the colors, all the things. Oh, it's too saturated. All the things that they pick are so broad, and so sorry, not broad. So bold. You know. So I'm going to take some of this. Let's actually kind of pull some of that back. Just kind of pull some of that down, something like that. It's like it gets a little bit too intense at some points. It's not quite getting the read that I want. It's too much. That could possibly work. Just gonna push it up even lighter. Let's see if we can get some really good sections with some brighter tones. I think that needs to be more saturated when I stroke that in there, because I think it's like it's losing color. I don't want it to lose color at all. That's too much. some of this in. Yeah, I don't like that. I think that like having a stroke that almost feels accidental here and there is kind of neat, but I feel like it's one of those things that can be just a little bit too much. I'm really liking how some of these things are turning out, though. I think generally speaking, such a long way to go, but it's one of those things that I think is kind of fun too. I probably ought to get going. I probably ought to. Let's come over here. It looks like I've got some. So what's going on that I'm getting like these like nice light highlights, and it's like standing out here, but it's not standing out on the other side. Okay, so now this is kind of like blocking in that sort of skull color. I do want to add in kind of like a what's it called? Like a, you kind of like sculpt in some of these I'll turn on RGB, grab one of these colors. Whoa. Just kind of like sculpt in some of this. Yeah, it's, you know what? Let's try taking some of these sections and just adding a little bit. I don't like that. I don't like that at all, I don't think. I mean, I could try doing something. Too many strokes I didn't like. I'm not being bold enough. I'm being like super slow and sensitive. I need to like be bold. Look it out. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's go ahead. I'm going to say masking. I'm kind of just checking this by, you know, to see if I like it or not. Because I think it has potential if it works. If it doesn't work, then shoot dang, you know? Yeah, let's bring that tolerance down, and we'll just add another color. Bring the tolerance down. Add another color. Bring the tolerance down. You know what? Let's turn that one off. We'll say okay. come over here. Let's, oops. Okay, let's kind of get rid of the masking in these areas here. I don't think this is gonna do what I want it to do. I'm gonna try to get like a raised look. Well, I mean, this will get the raised look. I'm just thinking that the raised look that I'll be getting will not be what I want. Let's just kind of go through here and just paint it then, because the auto isn't really wanting to help me out a whole lot. Yeah, let's just go ahead and just take the whole nose. Just take it. Just take it all. Uh-oh. Okay, something like that. And then let's invert it. Oops. Soften it once. Deformation. Inflate. Definitely just a little bit. No, in fact, maybe I won't even soften it, because it looks like it's pretty soft anyway. Yeah, I might keep that. I might keep that. Let's go ahead and version it up so that way we can keep the previous version. I want to call that good, I think. Or here's something I need to do. Okay, that's better. I need to add in some extra pieces here so that this can be a little bit less boring. And we'll have to eventually go through and do something with eyelashes as well, so that, you know, similar things, so that it's a little bit less plain, a little bit less simple. So I'm just going to kind of add this in. Shoot, what did I do? I don't want that to be my brush. So that's one of the hard things about introducing new brushes, is that for instance, right now standard brush looks like it's not even in here, so I want to say reset all brushes. That way I can at least have it back. Z add, Z RGB, here we go, we're gonna do that. mirror. I feel like I'm like getting into more of a like a groove, and I'm like not even paying attention to the to the chat. See you later, Quentin. Thanks for coming and saying hello and hanging out for a little bit. So one of the things that I used to really enjoy getting at it's a restaurant called Islands, where these what's it called? They had these sriracha burgers that were awesome. They were so super good, and then they got rid of them. They just flat out stopped making them. And it's the whole reason why I liked going there, you know. It was disappointing. There we go. I'm liking that. I'm liking that. That's good. Helps to give her a little bit more interest. Okay. We'll call that good. We'll call that good for now. I'm really liking where she's going. There's definitely a lot left to do. But she's starting to come on, and she's starting to have a little bit more of the vibe that I'd like for her to have. One of the things that I'm going to start working on doing now is designing her her lace, designing her veil, designing her dress, and I'll probably do that a lot more in Procreate than in anything else. Just because it'll allow me to go ahead and do. It'll allow me to do just different iterations, to sketch out patterns, to do things in symmetry, those sorts of things. So yeah, and we'll go ahead and we'll play with that some more, and yeah, we will definitely come back to this though. I'm I'm obviously getting like super super excited about this project. I was going to say stuck is like, it's not necessarily stuck. It's just that I'm getting excited and I'm working on it and I'm getting into a groove, and that's awesome. You know, that's what you want for a good project, right? So yeah, that's kind of the this is where this is going. So yeah, thank you guys for coming and hanging out and for spending some time with me on stream. I'll stop with like a frame on this here. Let's see, go to the clay. Let's add in an alpha. Let's say just before I guess we finish this, modify streak length. There we go, something like that. That's kind of interesting. I feel like this is starting to get kind of its own little feel now. Like that can, it doesn't feel like it works for this though. I don't know. Oh well. Maybe turn the streak length down some. Change the alpha to something a little bit more. representative of what I have been doing. There we go. It's interesting to me that it's like, that's probably just the color that I have selected. Yeah. Give some different strokes, some different broadness, and things like that. I don't know. I don't like that though. I think it's starting to get a little bit too sloppy. So I think there are some things that I've got to go through and kind of play with, you know. Giddy, yeah, for sure. Pull that out, pull that out, pull that out, pull that out. Yeah. I might just keep it like this. Or I could even come over here and say subtool, extract, and see how bad this gets, how big. Yeah, super, super big. Yeah, too big. That's a little bit better. I mean, it's something that I could play with. I'll say accept and kind of keep it and see what I do with it. But yeah, different little things like that. Lots of things to play around with. But yeah. Cool. I'll call it good. I'll call it good. So let's kind of zoom back out a little bit, give us a little bit more of like a context sort of shot here. Yeah, I think I'll continue playing around with this at some point. Let's see how it goes. And yeah, thanks for coming and hanging out. Appreciate the company and hope you guys have an awesome evening. Okay, smartest out.